What's up, everybody? What's up, MGTOW? So, I wanted to cover this article real quick. It's basically about an event that's going on in India right now. And I'm just going to read the headline of this article real quick. This specific article is from The Guardian, and it was written by Amirit Dillon, and it was published on January 2nd, 2019. Protests break out in India after two women enter temple. Court ruling allows women to offer prayers in temple in Kerala after centuries-long ban. Alright, so basically in a nutshell, what's happened is that some women entered the temple of a Hindu deity who was basically known as a celibate deity, and so therefore women within their fertility window were not allowed to enter this temple. And there's no actual gender bias in this specific case because it's a religious context in the first place. And second of all, women that have gone through menopause are allowed to enter this temple. It's only because women that are menstruating are not allowed to enter this temple because the deity Lord Ayyappan was known as a celibate deity. So this paragraph here kind of sums up what's going on. Two women who have been given police protection were defying a centuries-old ban on menstruating women entering the temple. The Supreme Court lifted the prohibition 3 months ago, but protesters set on upholding tradition have stopped all attempts by the communist government of Kerala to let female devotees enter the temple. So this event or riots or protest or whatever kind of exemplifies a lot of the themes that I've been talking about on my channel. First of all, the women were stopped by not only men but other women who revere this deity from entering the temple. And the women were not able to enter the temple until the communist police showed up. The male communist police showed up and basically forced these women through. So even though there was tons of women for 3 months almost trying to enter this temple, they physically were not able to enter the temple on their own until the police showed up. The communist police showed up. So again, this is kind of supporting my point that women need men to basically push through these feminist and communist agendas onto the general population, and that women don't actually have enough force to be able to force men to do anything. And so therefore blaming everything on women is really not the correct way to look at the situation, because in fact it's men who are behind these women violating this religious right. Which it says right here, after the ruling, several women tried to reach the shrine but were forced to retreat by activists comprising ordinary women and the political group, including the BJP, which is the main political party in that region, although the communists control that region somehow in the government. On Tuesday, hundreds of thousands of women in Kerala formed a human chain 380 miles long across the length of the state to demonstrate their support for gender equality, which this has nothing to do with gender equality. This is about religious observation. The quote-unquote Women's Wall rally was backed by the government. Case in point, this was backed by the communist government. This was funded by the communist government, and this was given physical support and force by the communist government. It doesn't say that women just got together by themselves and figured out how to do this. Basically, communist government men are now backing this, and they're trying to force women into this temple. Now, if we look and see what the deity was, he's called Lord Ayyappan, and basically in the region he's honored by the Hindus and also some Muslims that live within the region. Now, according to the legend, he was born from some gods, and then he was raised by a childless couple. And his main noted feat was that he was a celibate monk, or MGTOW, and he was known for defeating an evil, shape-shifting buffalo demoness. So keep that in mind, that this celibate monk was known for defeating a female demon. That's his main kind of like archetype, is that a celibate man can defeat a female demon. So you can kind of see why feminists and communists who want to destroy the family and destroy male archetypes and male power would definitely want to attack something like this. And also the fact that the most significant festival linked to Lord Ayyappan is observed around the winter solstice, which was about 2 weeks ago. The solstice was on the 21st through the 23rd. So you can see how there is some type of metaphysical significance to the communists attacking the temple at this time. Now, some people seem to claim that this is some type of right of free speech, including David Icke, which I'm very confused by because he talks about free speech all the time, and he's very against, migrant immigrants coming into Europe, but then he supports feminists attacking this sacred religious site because they're women. It doesn't make any sense, because by that logic, then he should be okay with, somebody going into a Catholic church and taking a dump on an altar, or somebody coming into a Muslim mosque and eating some pork and throwing pork around everywhere. Because if you're okay with women within menstruating period coming into this temple, then you're basically supporting the same thing. Because if this is a private temple owned by whoever supports this religious observation, then their free speech trumps the free speech of these women who don't belong there. If it's their property, it's their free speech. And the fact of the matter is that these guys are not gender biased because they allow women into the temple. They're only biased against women within their fertility window because they feel as that can somehow devalue the power of this celibate deity. So you have an attack on both fronts, on both a metaphysical front and a physical front, where they're trying to attack the archetype of a celibate male who defeated a female demon, basically, and the only way that they could attack this deity was by using communist white knights. So we're starting to see a pattern here that the women can't do anything on their own and that they need men to do stuff. And so therefore, constantly attacking women, as MGTOW does, is really kind of fruitless, because the main focus and the main people who apply the force that allows feminism to exist is men, is white knights. And yeah, people talk about white knights, but there's a lot more articles and things going on about women and what women are doing. And some MGTOW even say that, just taking women's rights away is going to eliminate these type of problems, when in fact it's the men, the white knights, that are the only people applying force in a situation like this. So to me, this event is kind of supporting a lot of the claims that I make on this channel, that men are the ones that are applying force on both sides, and that crazy order followers that wear suits with metal badges on them that just do whatever they're told, because if they don't do what they're told, they won't get paid. And then they're the ones that are actually applying the force that is behind feminist actions. It's not women's choice. It's not women just deciding, oh, because the women did decide that they were going to go in and they weren't able to physically get in. It wasn't until the communist police showed up that they were able to get in. And it's also showing that there's a metaphysical attack on the male principle, and specifically a celibate male who is known for defeating female demons. And even though the communists are basically atheists, they still planned an attack around a time where the metaphysical power would be high and would also damage metaphysically the archetype of this Hindu god. So yeah, I'll put links down to the article below. There's a couple articles on this topic. And besides that, have a good day and go MGTOW.